areas of renewable sources of energy and energy efficiency. President Zuma has come with a big and important delegation. First of all, his ministers, who I would like to welcome all of them here, and they've already had meetings with their counterparts, but also many businessmen, many representatives of economic and business sectors of South Africa. This morning there was a meeting with the MEDEF, and alongside they will be looking at how to step up cooperation. There are, of course, many examples of different agreements that are going to be signed, but one important one is between the SNCF and the French railways and the South African railways, PRASA, which is a direct investment and a very sound agreement. Let us not forget, as I said earlier on, we may be far from a geographical point of view if you look at capitals, but we are in a funny sort of way neighbors as well. And this is because we are present in the ocean, the Indian Ocean, as we are in La Réunion, and we have also been working towards signing an agreement on fisheries in the Indian Ocean. So I am delighted by the fact that this agreement can take place, and including the reinforcement of security in this area. During this visit, we also wish these particular aspects to be looked at, that is security and fighting terrorism, different parts of the world. Now, France, of course, is concerned by some aspects, questions in Africa, Sahel, for example, and we the South African government, we will also be taking steps in the Central African Republic. We have also stated that we are concerned by what's going on in South Sudan and the violence that has broken out there, the high fatalities. I'd also like to conclude by quoting one of the comments that we made, one of the items that we discussed, and that was Brexit. Now, everybody, of course, knows that South Africa and the United Kingdom are closely tied. There is a past history, there are economic ties as well. My position was perfectly clear. I have said that there will be no effect because of Brexit on the relations between the European Union and South Africa. On the contrary, our bonds, our economic ties, and our trade will be reinforced. And in this way, we can make sure that we can participate more closely in many different fora, including SADC. Now, Brexit is obviously, we don't wish to punish the British people. It's their right if they wish to leave the EU. However, we wish to reduce the period of uncertainty as far as possible. There are others who have felt this as well, and our friends from South Africa share this point of view. There's nothing worse for trade and the economy than uncertainty. And I think, therefore, things have to be expedited. Now, I talked about the United Kingdom and South Africa. President Zuma will also be going to the Somme to commemorate the centenary of the Bois d'Elville battle. During this battle, there were many South Africans who fell. It was during World War I. France will never forget the bravery and the sacrifices made by the South African soldiers. And this is why it was very important for the centenary that we have a memorial which reminds us of these sacrifices, of these ties that link our two countries forever. Thank you.
Well, Your Excellency, the President, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, let me extend my gratitude to President Hollande and the people of France for the very warm welcome my delegation here in Paris. President Hollande and I have had fruitful discussions ranging from the state of bilateral relations between South Africa and France to a number of regional and international issues. South Africa is pleased that relations between South Africa and France have developed and expanded considerably, with a strategic partnership being forged. We are keen to advance our cooperation in key areas such as energy, science and technology, maritime, economy and security, education, health, as well as arts and culture. In this regard, a number of instruments have been just signed today. We recognized that although trade figures have grown steadily over the past few years, bilateral trade has not reached its full potential, and we thus explored avenues for increasing trade as well as looking at sectors for future investment. We exchanged views on the outcome of the referendum in the United Kingdom to leave the European Union, as His Excellency has touched on it. We agreed that the so-called Brexit holds implications way beyond the borders of the UK and the member states of EU. We further reinforced our joint commitment to strengthening cooperation on regional and global peace and security, as well as global governance issues. I would like to take this opportunity to also thank President Hollande for the digitized Livonia trial dictables, which will safeguard an invaluable part of South Africa's history for generations to come. We are pleased with the levels of economic cooperation and trade between the two countries. We also believe there is room for further increased bilateral trade and investment. France remains an important source of foreign direct investment for South Africa, with an estimated investment volume of over 24 billion rand. France is also an important trade and tourism partner for South Africa. In 2015, the overall volume of trade amounted to 33.6 billion rand. However, despite this relatively high figure, there is a need for renewed efforts to boost trade between our respective countries, especially South Africa's exports to France. We brought along a large group of business people which are interacting in the business forum, which I had the privilege of addressing this morning. I'm confident that the business sector on both sides will further advance investment and trade levels in our two countries. The importance of cooperation in the field of culture between our two countries was again demonstrated this morning with the signing of the program of cooperation in the field of arts and culture. With regards to new areas of cooperation, we look forward to the focus on skills development as well as advancing the excellent prospects in science and technology. This includes the Young Entrepreneur Innovation Program, the core funding of doctoral degree scholarships, and the launch of an international laboratory for ocean research and education scheduled for September this year. We also look forward to the collaboration in water research and space science between South Africa and France. We also look forward to working with France on global issues such as the reform of multilateral organizations such as the United Nations and its Security Council in particular, climate change, and also in strengthening cooperation between the EU and the African Union. We also seek further cooperation on the promotion of peace and security in Africa, working within the ambit of the AU. We have also requested support from France for the initiative that South Africa has undertaken within the framework of the G20 on the issue of illicit financial flows and on the role that combating the illicit financial flows could play in the mobilization of the domestic resources needed, particularly by developing countries. I would like to take this opportunity once again to thank the President for making this visit coincide with the centenary of the Battle of Devilwood. The commemoration of the Battle of Devilwood is of special significance to us. We will use the occasion to correct one of the key injustices of the past in our country. The South African Devilwood Memorial has been transformed in order to ensure that the historical role played by black South Africans in the First and Second World Wars is accorded the necessary recognition as that given to white South Africans. We value our relationship with France. This visit further advanced our relations, friendship, and cooperation. I thank you.